I am a woman. I was born in France, in Paris, just outside Paris. My mom is French and my dad is from Benin, West Africa, ex-Dahomey. And so I lived there until I was 17. And then I was sent to England to see what life was about. And I guess that's what I did. I stayed on and studied life. And yeah, that's what it's been. I came to Jamaica, well, that will be 10 years ago very soon, in a few days. So in December 2007, that's when the Jamaica journey started. I created this space because I was blessed to have a life change, come across some teachings that literally transformed my life. And I was just so amazed to see that it works and how powerful it could be to, help me feel better, help me feel just happier, healthier, more, just, yeah, better in my life. And so that became what I did as a job profession. And I was just amazed by, not only it worked for me, but it worked for the people I taught. And that became the inspiration, to have a space where we could just do that, work on ourselves, make ourselves feel better, clearer, and basically learn all those things that we're not taught, we never taught in school or in life, and which makes a huge difference to the way we lead our life, to the quality of our life, to our health even, to our happiness. And I don't think we have to struggle. So many people are struggling and life seems to be a lot of suffering for many. And this is precisely because we haven't been taught certain things. We haven't been told the truth about who we are, that we are threefold, mind, body and spirit. And we haven't been told how to best take care of those aspects of ourselves. So it's not surprising that, we just go through life, through trial and errors. And it can be a tough and painful journey. And having been there and knowing exactly about it and discovering through my own life that it doesn't have to be so and that we can change things, I just wanted to share that. I think I've always been touched or affected by people being unhappy or being sad or the pain in the world. And that just gave me a way to make sense of myself, of my life, and I just wanted to share that, and that's what I've been doing for, well, since 2000, so that's what, 17 going on 18 years, and I give thanks. So I just, want to share that with everybody because the more of us are happier and, happy in our life, and not having to pretend about it, the better this whole world will be. So that's really why. And also, there's another reason. I just love living in the sun. I realized that the time when I was the happiest was when I was in the sun, close to water, in nature. And this is it. I think, life goes really fast. And if there's things that, comes like a dream for us, we just have to try at least, and give everything we've got to make it happen. So that's why, this space, this place really fitted perfectly, It was what I loved, teaching people, teaching yoga, helping people understand, how to live a better life. And doing that in a beautiful place under the sun, in nature and so on, just dream come true. And, that also tells me that anything we can imagine, we can make real, and we can make our dreams real. And that's the whole point, really, I refuse to believe we've been put here to suffer. But I mean, when we look, it kind of looks like that. But it's just because we don't know certain things, If you understand that your mind is what's linking and everything, and You know, that the way you feel, your heart health is really important to the whole, and determines what you think is going to be possible in your life and so on, then this is it. That's what makes all difference, and this is what's missing really. We're not really giving the tools and the understanding we need to thrive at life, you know, and enjoy it, have a good time in the process of it. That's what it's all about. So that's what this place, really, yeah. Well, I believed I could. This is it. I think that's an important thing. Um, if we believe something is possible, then we're just doing it. The other thing, I remained focused on that. That was just my everything, you know, just, I wasn't married, I didn't have, and well, I still don't have children. So, you know, and I think this is for us women when, you know, we don't have those things, we need to find something to give meaning to our life, you know. And so that was it. Plus, when I first came, it was, I did have a husband, but I was very short-lived. So, you know, all what was the word? The drama and trauma that happened when I first came here, which I believe was very much part of my initiation, forced me to focus, you know, so that I didn't lose myself in all of that. And the vision for this place was and has been and remains my focus. And Yogi Bhajan, who brought the Kundalini Yoga teaching to the West, has got a beautiful quote that says, "Learn to concentrate and your life will be nothing but success." And I guess I heard that, and that's what I did. In the midst of it all, I remained focused and concentrated and using all the tools that I knew. I mean, of course, that's my practice, and, you know, knowing about Kundalini Yoga, knowing how to make the most of my energy, how to get my mind to serve me, keep me open-hearted but strong-hearted, and disciplined at the same time. That's what helped me to keep up, yes. And yeah, believing that it was possible and trusting, and this was really, that came from me, that came from my heart, and yeah, that was it. And I think also, another big part of what allowed me to keep up was to not let myself distracted by outside noise and the opinions of others and, you know, basically what other people had to say about it. Actually, had I even listened to a tenth of that, I would have never come here to Jamaica. So this is another thing. We need to learn to our own self, but we can't if we're constantly in the noise. And this is why, again, this space, because it's a beautiful, peaceful, you know, open space where you can just be and hear yourself again. I think something that ultimately served me a lot throughout my life and saved me many times was to retreat, to remove myself, to find a space where I'd be able to be alone, in peace and quiet, to get to the truth of me, to ask myself this important question that made all the difference in my life. And that came from me, not from what other people may think was best for me. And I think for us, this is often how we get confused and we get lost, because we think or believe sometimes that other people know better than us. And really, who could know better than you, you know, what's in your heart? I mean, I'm not saying, you know, don't ask for advice or opinion or so on, but do it in a way where you're already very clear within your own self. So in a way, you're asking for feedback maybe, or confirmation, and that way you're just not losing you and what's important to you. And I think this pretty came naturally to me because, as I was saying, I left my starting home and my original conditioning very young. I was 17, so, you know, and finding myself alone, literally, very early, I had to learn to find my own answers. And I think this is what truly, truly served me and allowed me not to get sidetracked or confused by other or influenced in some ways. And really staying with what felt right and what felt good for me. And I think my whole life has been that, seeking to feel better, you know, and stepping up, because I started with nothing, literally, you know, no money, no skills, no qualifications, a broken heart for sure, feeling really bad about myself. Yeah, and we can change all this. This is it. If you're not feeling good, just think that should be your goal, you know, that you don't have to stay feeling depressed, feeling less than, feeling worthless and all those things, you know. It doesn't have to be. And again, that's why this place, that's why I do what I do, because it hurts me. I know I used to feel, and I know we don't have to feel that way. And sometimes it angers me because we're truly not helped, on the contrary. And it's very simple, you know, when we understand it. We just need to make sure, you know, things feel okay, and if they don't, we change them, and if we can't, we try to remove ourselves from it. And, you know, we shouldn't, what's the word, get accustomed to feeling bad, to being sick, to being unhealthy. This is just not our true nature. This is not how we should live our life. We shouldn't get accustomed to be depressed or negative and all of that. This is just, it isn't the way, you know. There are other ways, and that's what me sharing my personal story is all about, you know, to show you that nothing is set, we can reset. That's the truth. That's, yeah. People need to learn to accept themselves, you know. And I know it's tough because this is our journey, you know. From the time we're born, we're kind of being conditioned by our family, by society, school, and so on, to be something we're not, right? And this is why when we don't fit in those expectations, family expectations, society expectations and stuff, we end up believing that we are no good, that there is a problem with us, that, you know, we're defective in some ways. And this is it. We need to get back to the truth, you know. If you look at a child, a newborn baby, that child is perfect, right? But then it's like through these growth and evolutions and what we're exposed to, something changed, right? We are being changed, we get to change, we change ourselves in order to fit in order to be accepted, in order to be loved. And this is where the confusion resides, you know. We're denying our true nature because we've lost connection with it in order to fit in. But fit in what, you know? And if it's mean fitting in a way that you're not being you, then that's as painful as not being accepted, right? So what we need to realize, and the truth of it, you know, you may have heard it before, but it is an inside job, literally, you know. There are tools, technology, science, you know, practices that can help you change the way you feel from the inside. So that, you know, the change happens from inside and then it's expressed on the outside. And so many things can't be seen. And often because they can't be seen, they can't be explained, you know. If you go and have a surgery and they open your brain, they're not going to see your thoughts or your emotions or your consciousness, none of that, but it's there, right? Same, you know, we're talking about chakras, energy centers. And they're not visible, you know, if in a sense, in a physical sense, as you know, we can take out, some of your certain organs. Yet, they are very important, and they are key to our, not just our health, but our happiness, because it's like they link to everything. You know, when we start to understand life in a bigger spectrum, we realize it's all about energy, it's all about vibration, frequency, resonance. You know, you can do your own research on Google and stuff and see what you come up with, you'll be amazed. And this is when we start to understand those things that life becomes more interesting. And then we realize that, oh, we're not so powerless, right? And there are things we can do to change our situation, to change the way we feel, to change the way we live. But at the same time, we need to understand, we need to pay attention to the things that matters, right? Life, society, the system makes you believe, you know, you need certain things in order to be happy, you know, and it's not. What you need is connection to you, right? It's got nothing to do with anything material, right? Actually, the time you're connected to you, you can make anything happen and come to you, right? So people, I think, really need to understand that it's an inside job. Nobody's going to do it for you. It's all done to you. Ultimately, you came here with all you needed, but you just don't know how to make the most of it, right? And this is, I think, you know, that should be everyone's priority right now in this time that's just kind of getting from bad to worse, right? We need to know how to keep ourselves strong. We need to develop a strong nervous system so that we can keep up, basically, and not burn out or break down or whatever. So we need a strong nervous system, we need a strong mind, you know, able to make decisions, able to assess situation very quickly so it can decide as quickly. And ultimately, we need an open heart, you know, and an attitude of gratitude, right? This helps to restore the heart, restore the pain, and that helps to keep us hopeful and positive and loving, right? So, and there've been tests that says, you know, when you start doing those gratitude exercise, I think it's writing 5 things you're grateful for each day, right? That doesn't take no time, right? It helps to makes you 25% more grateful in a moment, very quickly, right? Those are little things that we need to use and be smart about. Instead of wasting time on social media, being busy, watching whoever is doing what and those kind of things, you're just draining out your energy, you're just wasting things. This is what I mean by learning to focus, learning to stay one-pointed on what you're doing, what's important to you, and not getting distracted by other stuff, other people's business. That's what it is, it's other people's business. Take care of your own journey, basically, you know, prioritize that. I'm not saying don't be there for others. Yes, be there, but in a way that's not taking away from you, right? This is what we need to learn, I think, ultimately. It's, if we were just going to say one word, learn to focus and concentrate, especially nowadays with, you know, constant distractions. You know, some people live with their phone, sleep with their phone. I mean, what kind of quality of sleep are you going to have? And then how is your brain is supposed to function at best to serve you, you know? Just, yeah, concentrate. Take time to be clear with you. You know, if you need to remove yourself from your normal, come to a place like this and just take time to ask yourself the question and get your answers so you know what you're doing. The moment you know what you're doing, there's nothing stopping you, because that's it, you've got your focus. Why so many people are just unhappy or confused? Because they don't know, they don't even know their own self, they don't even know what they're doing. So I would say people need to invest in knowing themselves. You know, I think Socrates said, know thyself. How many centuries later that still applies? That's the best thing you can do. Know thyself, yeah. investing, making time for that. And that means you need to remove yourself, leave the friends on the side. I remember my father used to say, yeah, your friends, are they going to pay your bills? And you know, I was 15, I couldn't quite understand. But as soon as I was 17 on my own in the world, oh, I got it very quickly. You know, this is it. Just, we need to keep it real. This is it. You know, get real to heal.